The movie begins with a flashback into the memories of Jason Bourne, where Dr. Hirsch calls him. Jason Bourne is Captain Webb, and to be sent on a mission, he would have to change his identity for it all, and then begins a time for a spree of bloodbaths. Bourne wakes up in a truck that is headed to a gathering at the Greek-Albanian border. There, everyone is hyped up for a fight and betting on it. Bourne takes down his opponent with just a punch, and Bourne is using this way to make an easy living. In Iceland, a member of the hacktivist movement by Christian Dassault, treadstone technician Nikki Parsons goes to the door and tells that Christian sent her and gets an entrance. Inside the place, she opens a laptop to connect with the main database of the CIA. At the CIA in Virginia, Heather Lee is called in an emergency as there is hacking being conducted to gather their database. Nikki starts to copy all the data, and Heather tries to track her down. Nikki finds a file of Richard Webb, which leads to David Webb, who is Jason Bourne. Heather tracks down the place of hacking in Iceland and gets access to their power. She shuts it all off before much data can get stolen. Nikki burns the computer and leaves. In Virginia, Director Dewey is called because of the breach in data, and he calls for a meeting. Heather takes out and narrows down the possible perpetrators and finds Nikki. She goes to the briefing room where she gives the data and information to the board of directors and asks to be a part of it too. They want to take out everyone involved in the Treadstone program to leave no trace. Later, Director Dewey tells Heather not to pull a stunt like that again so she can work under him. In Italy, Dewey calls Asset and tells him that his target is Jason Bourne and the team of Heather Lee. Asset gets up and takes out his current target, being ready for the next one. In Greece, Bourne is in his apartment, recollecting events and getting fresh when he sees his old passports. He heads to the street fight where we see Heather passing by. After the fight, Bourne sees an address and time in his bag. At the location, there is a riot and protest going on in front of the White House, and Nikki gets off the bus. The CIA had gotten a CCTV feed of who had gotten off the bus. 2 teams have been dispatched to capture and dispose of them, while Dewey and Heather also activate the live feed. The news goes through that the Asset has landed as well. Coming out of the airport, he is en route as well. The dispatched men arrive at the location and are on the lookout for Bourne and Nikki. While checking all the feeds, they finally come across someone. To Nikki's surprise, Bourne is now there as well, and she tells him that she hacked the CIA and has to upload the files. Bourne tells them to move while in the CIA, and they find out Nikki is there. Bourne doesn't want to get involved in this, but it's too late. Nikki tells him about the files and the things he was forced to be involved in. All of it is coming back, so he needs to put an end to all this. She urges him to read the files. The CIA identifies Bourne and tells them that they are cleared to engage. Bourne throws a Molotov to block their view, and a fight ensues in the bus. He takes down the agent, but the police see him and chase after him. Dewey changes the target for the second team from Nikki to Bourne. As they go on, they see Nikki, so they are ordered to divide. Bourne takes out officers on a bike and takes the motorbike to make a run for it, using the water to shake off other officers. Bravo team is after Nikki, but Bourne comes in time to take out the team and rescue Nikki. Now the Asset is on its tail while the CIA activates satellite feed and guides Asset through it. Tricking the satellite system, Bourne takes stairs from a dead end while the Asset loses his car. Heather guides him to get to the roof. He makes it in time and readies his sniper. As soon as Bourne and Nikki pass through, Asset takes the shot, but only Nikki gets hit. He cannot find Bourne, and the helicopter spots Asset. The tactical team is on their way, so he has to leave. Bourne tries to help Nikki, but she tells him not to. She is forced to move even so slightly, and Asset takes another shot and ends her. Bourne takes the keys and leaves. The Asset is nowhere to be found, and only the body of Nikki. Back at the CIA, Heather asks if Asset felt like he had a personal connection with Bourne, and Dewey tells her that Bourne exposed the Blackbriar program, which opened up about operations, and Asset got caught and was brutally tortured because of Bourne's actions. Heather thinks Bourne will go online with all the files, but Dewey is still confused. Asset comes back to his apartment, and on the other end, Bourne stops at the subway where with a key, he finds the locker. In it, there is a gun, a pen drive, and a notebook that explains the connections. Bourne goes to an internet cafe and finds the given location. A conference about deep dreams going on where it is said that all of the user data will be collected to make a tailor-made experience, promising that privacy won't be touched. After the conference, Aaron goes to meet Dewey at a reservation where he complains about the CIA being hacked and he wants out. In turn, Dewey rather threatens him and tells him that he is accountable for providing services, so he can't find it out and leaves. Heather, on the other hand, takes an interest in the whole project that Jason Bourne was in and starts to access those files to understand it better. Christian Dassault now returns to his hideout, and Bourne is there too, waiting for him. As he comes, Bourne gives him the pen drive to open and access the files within. Heather gets the alert as soon as the files are being accessed and tells that to Dewey, who orders the Berlin team to be dispatched. Heather tries to reason with Dewey that Bourne may not be in the wrong, but Dewey shuts her down. Bourne looks through his old files and uncovers many secrets that the CIA had been hiding from others. Heather hacks into the phone to contact them while Christian attacks Bourne, but it does not end in his favor. Heather shuts off the laptop and calls on the phone. Heather again tries to reason, but Dewey takes over, warning him. Heather takes her phone and sends an insight to Bourne, informing him that a team is coming after him in 2 minutes. Bourne makes his way out without getting noticed. In the conference room, Heather proposes a plan to not kill Bourne, but rather recruit him back in, as the original files state. Bourne is on his tipping point, so they may learn something new. Everyone agrees on this plan as one shot, but Dewey has doubts. Aaron is given an invoiced letter about his security violations in the US, and Aaron is mad because he knows that Dewey is behind all of it. He tells his assistant to dig up all of the files and recordings they have on him to bring to the case against him as well. Bourne is having flashbacks of the reports and decides to look into Heather. Dewey calls Asset and tells him that he is not in the case alone, while on the other end, Dewey also gets a call, telling him that Aaron is onto something in Vegas. Back in the UK, Bourne contacts Smith to meet him in 15 minutes at a specific destination. Bourne sees that he will be tailed throughout and begins to be on the move. Heather is with the Asset and gives him comms, but he later dumps it in the trash, and then disposes of the CIA agents as well. Asset, Smith, and Dewey are working together to take down Bourne. Heather notices that the Bravo team is immobile and Dewey acts ignorant. Asset takes down the Alpha team as well, and Dewey blames it on Heather and takes over control of the mission. She notices that the tracking device of Asset is not moving, so she tells the remaining agents to get to Paddington Plaza. Bourne plants something, and Asset, alongside Smith, are in position. Bourne sets off the device, which causes fire alarms everywhere to go out, and everyone is in panic. Smith is told to remain at the station, but he is too scared, and just as he starts to leave, Bourne gets him. Heather tries to follow him. Bourne takes Smith to a roof where he wants answers, but Dewey forces him not to, and Asset sees them. Smith, pressured by Bourne, gives the answers, but when asked who killed his father, Asset comes to the roof and Bourne recognizes him. They fall off the roof and Asset goes after them, but he is missing. Bourne has taken the earpiece from Smith and now can listen in to them talk. Bourne goes to Heather and gets in the car. Heather tells him that Dewey will be going to Vegas as well because the agency recruits there as well. Both of them come to an agreement to work together to put Dewey down. Heather helps Bourne get through security at the airport, while Dewey and Astet are planning to take down Aaron at the presentation at ExoCon. Heather and Bourne work together to get the tracking going and stay in contact, while Asset makes his way to the vents and takes aim. Dewey gets a call informing him about the recent landing of Jason Bourne, and Dewey doubts Heather, so he tells Asset to take down Heather and Aaron. Heather tells Bourne that something is wrong, and Bourne finally makes his way in and puts a light on Asset, bringing him down for a few seconds. Chaos ensues among the crowd, and Bourne remains undetected. The security ID is the Asset, and Bourne is the target of security. Bourne takes the elevator and shuts others down. Making his way to Dewey, Heather goes to get her gun. Bourne finally meets Dewey, and he tries to get in mind of Bourne to buy time for himself. As soon as backup arrives to kill Bourne, Heather saves him and hands him the gun. Heather tells him that it can all stop now since he has a choice now. As Bourne and Asset are leaving, the SWAT team arrives. Asset takes over a SWAT car with Bourne coming after him. On the road, both are being followed by the police. Despite attempts to block the path of both, they make it out, but Bourne's car gets stuck in front of Asset, barely making it. With a helicopter on its head, they get into the parking lot. Outside, the police try to stop, but it's of no use. Bourne finally takes a leap with the car on top of Asset's and makes it crash into a casino. Barely surviving and being spotted by the police, they go underground. Facing each other, a fight ensues between them. Bourne comes out victorious and takes down Asset. With that, he silently leaves the place. Coming out of the hospital, Aaron has survived and is willing to reveal everything about the dark tactics of Dewey. Heather is waiting for CIA agents and now is to be working under the new CIA director Russell, telling him that she can take care of both Aaron and Bourne, having their trust. She wants him to come to the agency. Leaving the car, she heads to the park where she gives Bourne the medal of his father and tells him that she wants him in the agency. Bourne says that he will think about it and leave. When she returns to her car, she sees a recorder there in which a clear voice of her is telling Russell about her plans. Bourne is caught up to them and frees himself from the shackles of the government. And with this, the movie ends.